Hello, welcome to the latest video from Last Bell Boxing. The topic of today's video is Floyd Mayweather calling out the winner of Brook versus Khan. So, Ander, over to you for the first debate. So, give us your thoughts, Ander.
Wow, this stinks of Floyd Mayweather wanting to keep himself relevant. He don't need money, but why? Just leave it alone, Floyd. Leave it alone, mate. It makes no sense. I tell you what, I'd love to hear a friend of the show. I'd love to hear what Rick Glazer's got to say about this. He'd destroy Floyd, I'm sure. This sort of thing annoys me. It annoys me because there's so much more in boxing. There's so many more fights can be made in boxing. He's got fighters himself. Concentrate on them. Don't worry about putting gloves on yourself, mate. You're done. Your legacy's there. Why are you carrying on? What? The Conor McGregor thing. Oh, Jesus, what a joke, mate. It was funny. The build-up was much more entertaining than the fight. Very funny. I mean, we watched it. We stayed up and watched it, right? And quite quickly, very, very quickly, you realise this was an absolute farce. And this will be the same, an absolute farce. Because Floyd Mayweather's got the money to turn around to whoever wins out of them two and go, let's just put a little show on. Let's not make it, let's not try and take each other's heads off. Let's make it an exhibition, but let's not let anyone know that. Let's make them think that we really hate each other and we're really going to take each other's heads off. But really, what we're going to do is prance around for a few rounds. It just annoys me. It annoys me.
I'd rather him fight Mayweather than fight Conor Benn, though, or you'll be beside yourself after that fight. You'll be talking about Conor Benn uniting the weight division and everything.
No, I won't though, because I think that's
an absolute T-shirt on and everything.
I know it's an absolute joke as well. Why is Conor Benn even entertaining fighting one of them two?
Well,
that's not ambition, is it? That's not wanting to become welterweight champion of the world. Fighting, two fighters that are way, way over the top.
Well,
more over the top. They've jumped off the cliff.
You're in the fan club, anyway. So, Chris, give us your thoughts.
Oh, what can you say about Floyd? Look, take out the Conor McGregor fight. Floyd Mayweather has not fought since 2015 when he fought Andre Berto. You know what I mean? And that was his last professional opponent against someone who could have had the ability to beat him. Even Berto didn't have the ability to beat him. Let's be honest. Floyd Mayweather handpicked his opponents when they were ready, when he was ready, and this, I think, is a way of him publicising his next exhibition in Dubai. Because it's been talked about the Floyd Mayweather will be getting paid stupid amounts of money once again somewhere this year to fight on top of the helipad on the Burj Al Arab, which is one of the beach resorts over there.
In Dubai, yeah.
And it'll probably happen. That I think this is just bringing his name back out there because that'll be on pay-per-view. Obviously, we had that nonsense with one of the Paul brothers, which he had recently, which was something which I didn't even buy, wouldn't even have bought, So, Mayweather, he's always going to be self-publicising, isn't he? He's always going to try and gate crash someone else's wedding. He tried that when he came over here with the UK, didn't he? He tried to get Ricky Hatton's fans wearing Man United shirts and all these different things. So he's just Mayweather. He's doing what he does, which is talk himself up without any real relevance now. 44 years of age. No one wants to see him fight any of these guys, regardless of who wins.
All this rubbish, this Logan Paul fight, even the Conor McGregor fight. Conor McGregor had a pulse at the time, and he was a gigantic star in UFC. But quite clearly couldn't box. He strikes and that's it. That's not boxing. No. But he had a pulse. He had a pulse, and they pulled the wool over our eyes because it was never a proper fight.
No.
You see what Conor McGregor does in the UFC. He's an animal. He goes out there to hurt people. He didn't do that in the fight against Mayweather because it had already been agreed. Let's just shadow box each other for 10 rounds, and and then we'll just we'll make out you're tired. Conor, and I'll give you an extra 10 million just to go down. Oh, you know, absolutely.
See, I disagree with you. I think the fight was a fight, and I don't think it was preordained who was going to win. But I think when you seen him at the weigh-in, one thing which surprised me for the Mayweather-McGregor fight was that Floyd Mayweather's back was really fleshy that night. And before he was always ripped, he wasn't taking it seriously. He knew he could finish it whenever he wanted to, and that's exactly what he did. He's fighting a guy who had 1 or 2 amateur fights, for God's sake. You know, he was never going to be in doubt.
This is getting me back to what I was just about to ask. Doesn't this tarnish his legacy?
50-0, he shouldn't even be thinking about fighting now. You know, he kind of did what Rocky Marciano didn't do, and he went to 50-0. You know, he's not fought, as I say, since he fought McGregor. He shouldn't be even thinking about fighting now. He should have made enough money to, you know, retire and do whatever he wants. But this lifestyle he has, you know, there's rumours just now going around that the IRS have put a lien against Floyd Mayweather on something. So that means that he's owing back taxes, which he's not paid. So if that is the case, and that is true, which I'm hearing from America, then, you know, this maybe explains why he's having that exhibition in Dubai. You know, he's built a new property in just outside Nevada, just outside Las Vegas as well, which is somewhere in close to about $75 million that he spent on building this ranch. So is he going through money that he doesn't have? So is it Mayweather doing Mayweather's? He should have made enough for the Paul fight. You know, one would think.
Yeah.
Again, keep him comfy. We've seen his paycheck when he published it after the Manny fight, you know, when he showed us a $200 million or $100 million check. He doesn't need money. No. You know, hopefully he doesn't need money. But I think it's unpublicising the Dubai fight, but I really hope he would never see Floyd Mayweather in a boxing.
Do you know, the only thing for me that I do respect him from a commercial aspect, because the way he conducts himself commercially is second to none. He was the one who broke the mold with promoting himself.
Yeah.
You know, it was taking the boxing. I mean, he's very astute, isn't there? You know, he knows Khan had been chasing him for all these years. He might need a payday, he might not. Who's to know? To throw your name out there is very, very clever. Yeah. Because especially if it's in the UK, I'm not saying I agree with the fight. I'm not saying I'd even go to the fight, but it sells out. Khan versus Brooks sold out in, what was it? 8 minutes, 7 minutes.
Something like that. But you're right, Mayweather never fought here. And he always wanted to fight here, didn't he? You know,
yeah, he did.
After the Hatton fight, you know, his profile was huge here. But the one thing you've got to remember is, you know, Floyd Mayweather, even when he was at his peak in America, still wasn't selling out the MGM brand. You know, like when he fought, say, Marcus Madonna, there was still empty seats. You could walk up to the MGM Grand that day, even though he was the public, like this massive public figure. You could still buy tickets for the Madonna fight. You could still buy tickets when he came back and fought Marquez at welterweight as well. It was crazy. He never sold tickets, and the number of comps that the MGM gave away for Mayweather fights was always high to get the high rollers in. He did bring money and revenue into Vegas, but he never sold out an arena.
And he loves a dollar bill. That's the bottom line.
He does,
you know, the boxing purists might not like it, like they don't like the Jake Paul stuff. I'm not saying I like it. All I'm saying is, from a commercial perspective, very, very clever.
But I hope he doesn't come back, because I tell you something, we've never discussed Mayweather actually as a trio. He's one of my favourite fighters, because I actually think he's exceptional. He's the best in my lifetime that I've seen live. You know, I think his feet work, his defence, the way he countered, he was absolutely brilliant. You know, and then from the second half of his career, when he came back after Ricky Hatton, yeah, he did handpick his opponents, but I thought that we seen something there that was pretty special. You know,
especially the way he transitioned, Chris, from being money, obviously pretty boy, to money. Yeah. Yeah. Two very different fighters, two very different styles.
Absolutely.
I agree. A very, very special talent.
Yeah. I loved him when he was banging at Angel Man Freddy and Diego Corrales. You know, I thought he was fantastic there. His performance when he beat Hernandez to win his title, just absolutely exceptional. You know, it was great, you know. And I think outside boxing, you know, people just think of him as a kind of public figure. But he was an exceptional boxer, and he was really revered for his boxing there. And that's, again, why I hope we never see him in. Imagine him coming back at 44 and getting beat. You know, and that's what our lasting legacy is. We think of him like Sugar Ray Leonard getting beat by Hector Camacho. You know, we don't need that. We don't want that memory.
Is he the best fighter in the modern era?
For me, he was, yeah.
Yeah, for me, he is.
But this is what I mean about tarnishing his legacy. Because if someone says to me, where'd you put Floyd Mayweather in your top fighters of all time? Probably not even in my top 5.
Not in mine either. But do you know a good benchmark for it as well is ask me the question 10 years ago, and my answer would have been Roy Jones Jr. But look what happened to his legacy.
Went on too long.
But this is what I'm saying. And I know it's making him money, and he's putting them down as exhibitions and all that. But come on. He had no point. He had no business being in the ring with a YouTuber.
But what he'll say is, Andy, it's your choice whether you buy it or not.
And he's
All
100% right.
I'm saying, from a personal point of view, all I'm saying is this tarnishes him as a fighter. It tarnishes what people will remember about him as a fighter.
See, it doesn't for me, because I kind of, it is what it is. It doesn't tarnish his legacy at all for me.
Yeah,
because I almost treat it separately. This is just it is what it is. To be honest.
And when he fought in Japan and when he fought Paul, I never bought either of them. So for me, it's not even impacting on his career. It's not on BoxRec, so it doesn't count. It's just I'm making money, isn't it? But good luck to him. But please don't step back in the professional ring. And certainly, if he comes over to Britain, I hope it's a speaking engagement and not fighting the winner of Brook versus Khan. Yeah.
So we'll have to watch the space on that one, boys. But I wouldn't put it past Mayweather to jump back in that ring with one of these. Okay. On that note, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you, Andy.
No problem.
Live every Thursday, 7 p.m. Come and join us in the debate, all things boxing. You're more than welcome. Cheers, guys.
See ya.